memories humming low frequency of missed calls. I'm pacing halls with the ghosts of the shadows on these walls. These walls used to be a duet, now the silence is the only beast. A heavy set heart trying to find a place to park its grief. Every morning the mirror reflects a stranger in my skin, trying to let the daylight in, but the shadows keep the wind. Got your old jacket on, it's a heavyweight armor. Protect me from the world and its cold-blooded trauma. They say sun's gonna rise and the clouds are gonna part, but the heart is trying to heal inside a heart. I'm just a witness to the wind, trying to find a way to breathe. In the garden of memories where the spirit never leaves. Yeah, I'm just trying to find a way to breathe. Trying to find a way to breathe. I see the rain on the pavement, looks like teardrops in the street. Thinking about the ways in the street, thinking about the ways we used to make the circle feel complete. Now it's just me and my thoughts, a lonely conversation, searching for a meaning in this total devastation. Searching for a meaning in this total devastation. No more how you doing, just how you holding up today. Like a mountain of a burden that I can't just walk away. Like a mountain of a burden that I can't just walk away. But I keep your spirit bright like a candle in the dark. Every word I'm spitting is a tribute to your spark. They say sun's gonna rise and the clouds are gonna part, but the heart is trying to heal inside a heart. I'm just a witness to the wind, trying to find a way to breathe. In the garden of memories where the spirit never leaves. Yeah, I'm just trying to find a way to breathe. Trying to find a way to breathe. Life is just a flicker, man. Don't let the wick burn out for nothing. I'm holding it down for both of us. Rest easy. Yeah, for the ones we lost, but never forgot. Still here, still breathing. West Side, we miss you. See you on the other side. The sidewalk knew my shoe size before I knew my name. Trading innocence for a heavy gold chain to mask the shame. I used to measure progress by the depth of the shadows I left behind. A king in a kingdom of static, legally blind to the truth I'd find. My spirit was a rusted gate, banging in the wind of a cold October. Was waiting for the sun to rise, I was waiting for the sun to rise. Never quite getting sober from the lie. I planted seeds of fire in a garden meant for bread. Now I'm harvesting the ash and the weight of the words I never said. It's a long road back from a place you never really reached, with every promise kept and every holy boundary breached. Internal mirrors showing cracks I didn't want to see. I was a prisoner of the person I pretended to be. Pretended to be. The mirror doesn't lie, it just reflects the scars I've earned on every bridge I crossed and every lesson left unlearned. I wrestle with the ghosts in the basement of my own mind, trying to find a ghost in the basement of my own mind. Trying to find a piece of peace I thought I'd never find. It's a heavy burden walking with your eyes shut tight, begging for the morning while you're hiding from the light. I looked for God in the gutter and the hull of a bottle, but found him in the silence when I finally hit the throttle. Then the fog cleared out like a window wiped clean with the rain, and I realized the goal was never found at the end of the chain. It was in the resilience of the heart that refused to stop beating, in the choice to stay and face the dark instead of retreating. Acceptance isn't giving up, it's just the clearing of the view. Understanding the old self had to die for the sake of the new. Understanding the old self had to die for the sake of the new. I stopped digging for the past in the future that hasn't arrived, and thank the hard times for the help to be vived, and thank the hard times for the man that they've helped to be vived. It's a different kind of power when you're longer fighting with yourself, when you find the only treasure isn't found on any shelf. sun doesn't shine less because you spent the night in the dark. You just appreciate the warmth more when you carry the mark. I'm standing on solid ground now, no more shifting of the sands. With a steady mind and a quiet heart and clean, open hands. The search is over, not because of answering sky, but because I finally looked inside and stopped asking why. This is the healing, the truth, the quiet strength of the soul, realizing that the broken pieces made the person finally whole. Stay grounded, keep evolving. Peace. Saw the steam rising from the cracked sewer plate in the gray dawn, before the streetlights even knew that they were staying on. You wore that thing coat like a shield against the frostbite. Walking 3 miles just to catch the bus and start the night. I was tucked under the quilt, dreaming about a better view, while you were trading hours for $1 and a cent or two. Your palms were callous like the history books we never read. Your palms were callous like the history books we never read. Just making sure that every single one of us was properly fed. I didn't see the hunger cause you hit it with a steady smile. Walking past the grocery store and skipping over every aisle. The radiator hits the tune of how we couldn't pay the bill, but you kept the hope alive through every single winter chill. Yeah, I see the sun behind the clouds you had to break apart. I carry every lesson that you planted in my heavy heart. You were the blueprint when the building started leaning in. Forgive me for times I let the city make me turn to sin. I'm standing tall today because you taught me how to find the floor. I'm opening the windows when you had to keep them bolted for the war. Yeah, I remember when the lock was jammed and we were standing in the hall. No place to lay our heads, watching how the heavy rain would fall. You told me stories about the kings and queens from lands across the sea, just so I wouldn't see the concrete cages staring back at me. Staring back at me. Now the engine in the driveway got a different type of sound, and the grass is finally green on the fallow ground. But I can never wipe the image of your tired eyes, or the way you used to pray when you were hearing all the sirens rise. When you were hearing all the sirens rise. This ain't a trophy, it's a testament to everything you bore. The reason that I'm knocking down the hinges on the heavy door. Knocking down the hinges. Yeah, I see the sun behind the clouds you had to break apart. I carry every lesson that you planted in my heavy heart. You were the blueprint when the building started leaning in. Forgive me for times I let the city make me turn to sin. I'm standing tall today because you taught me how to find the floor. I'm opening the windows when you had to keep them bolted for the war. Yeah, yeah. For the one who held the roof up when the rain was coming through. For every silent prayer, for every single thing you do. I'm standing here, mama, we made it. The concrete wears a memory I buried deep beneath the silt. Our architecture built on every jagged edge of regret and guilt. I used to measure time by the shadows that I cast upon the floor, believing every door that closed was bolted shut forevermore. But the wind doesn't hold a grudge against the mountain for the break, and the water doesn't ask the stone for permission to create the lake, and the water doesn't ask the stone for permission to create the lake. I'm digging out the archetypes of the man I thought I had to be, to find the quiet frequency that finally sets the spirit free. That finally sets the spirit free. Now the sun breaks different on a house no longer made of straw. I finally found the mercy in the middle of the natural law. Peace is not a destination, leaving all the anger in the rear view. wearing grace for a smile, wearing grace for a smile. Forgiveness is a mirror where the ghost of you and I collide. It takes a different kind of strength to drop the armor and the pride. I saw the cyclical patterns spinning circles in the family tree, until I realized that the cage was only made of mental key. I'm sending out a telegraph of kindness to the ones who did me wrong, not because they earned the pardon, but because I need to keep my song. Not because they earned the pardon, but because I need to keep my song. Radical grace is a weapon that can heal the wounds of centuries, planting seeds of understanding where there used to only be the breeze. Where there used to only be the breeze. Now the sun breaks different on a house no longer made of straw. I finally found the mercy in the middle of the natural law. Peace is not a destination, leaving all the anger in the rear view. Wearing grace for a smile, wearing grace for a smile. It's quiet now. The storm passed when I stopped feeding the wind. Walk light, bless the journey. Peace is the only true currency. Be well. Yeah, check it. The world is heavy, man. Just a quiet storm in a concrete maze. We all looking for a way out. A way out. But the map is inside, you dig? Map is inside. Soul transmission. Unified frequency. I seen the pavement cracking under the weight of the rain. I seen my brothers trapping, trading the future for pain. I seen the vision snapping, lost in the cycle of blame. I seen the world collapsing, forgetting the human name. We building up fences while we're burning the bridges. We chasing the riches but starving our spirit in ditches. I'm looking in the mirror, wondering who is that man, trying to find a piece of peace in this broken plan. Thinking about the choices and the voices in the head, counting all the blessings that the elders always said. But I realize the stars are just holes in the ceiling, and we are connected by a shared human feeling. It's not just about the struggle, it's about the healing. The truth is a substance, it's not just a dealing. We all breathe in the same air, under the same moon, singing the same song, just in a different tune. The division is a fiction, a trick of the eye. Unity is the gravity, keeping us in the sky. Now the water is calm, and the path is quite clear. No more running from shadows. Inner peace is a power that the money can't buy. Just the wind in the palms, under a wide open sky. We walk with purpose now, grounded in the love, watching the clouds drift high in the blue above. Purpose is found when you stop looking for the goal and realize the story is the only thing truly told. Soul transmission complete. Peace. I'm gone. The concrete wears the scars we leave behind when we stumble. A heavy shadow in the alleyway, making us humble. Division is a phantom limb we feel in the morning air, looking for a mirror in the street. but finding a vacant stare. I saw a man clutching the ghost of a yesterday that lied, with iron gates around his spirit and nowhere for the truth to hide. But the deeper you dig, the closer the water comes to light, turning the friction of the struggle into a guiding white light. Truth ain't a trophy that you wore with your kin. When the ego finally stops to spin, I realize now that the pain was just a compass pointing home to a kingdom that was waiting right beneath the marrow of the bone. I found a handshake that transcended the colors we were wearing, a language in the shared silence everyone was finally hearing. Love isn't soft, it's the granite that holds the building while it rains. It's the freedom from the ghost clutches of the ego and the chains. We are mirrors, reflecting the sun in 1,000 different cracks, moving forward with the weight of the past lifted off our backs. The purpose isn't found in a destination or a plan you drew. It's in the quiet pulse of life that's always been inside of you. The fog is lifting now, the horizons are no longer made of steel. I can feel the rotation of the world, and it feels incredibly real. Clearing the static from the heart, trading the yachty for a divine and sacred rarity. The air is different when you breathe from the center of the soul, walking down a path that's finally starting to feel whole. From the division of the block to the unity of the breath, finding life that's too wide to ever be measured by death. Just a man with a message, standing where the pavement meets the grass, watching the illusions of the past shatter like old glass. No more shadows in the mind, just a light on the surface of the skin. This is how the healing happens. This is where the truth begins. One heart, one struggle, one path to the peace we all deserve. Stay grounded in the love, maintain your nerve, preserve the curve of the soul. Walk in the light, always. Peace. Cold air in the hallway, shadows playing tag on the drywall. Hand-me-down dreams, staring at the ceiling through a small ball. Mama worked a double, praying that the copper wouldn't break. Eating pride for dinner, learn to find the peace in what we make. Concrete flowers, pushing through the cracks in the gray. Inherited the static, had to learn to hear the words they don't say. Building up a fortress, building up a fortress. Brick by brick against the incoming tide, tucking all the hunger and the history deep down inside. Searching for the sun in the dark of the valley, counting every lesson, paying every tally, moving through the fire just to find a little breath, choosing every life over death. Yeah, we're still moving. The news hit like a hammer, silence ringing loud in the room, watching all the vibrant colors fading into the gloom. I was bitter at the heavens, questioning the price of the stay, letting all the anger eat the light and turn the green to gray. Lock the windows tight, lock the windows tight, couldn't let the healing air in the chest. Fighting all the memories, putting all the ghosts to the test. But the heart is a mirror, can't hide the cracks when the light hits. Learning how to live again in the middle of all the misfits. Searching for the sun in the dark of the valley, counting every lesson, paying every tally, moving through the fire just to find a little breath, choosing every life over death. Yeah, we're still moving. Wait a minute, I can't hold this anymore. The water is finally breaking through the dam. It's not about the things that happen, it's about what we do with the clay we're given. Forgiveness is the only key left on the ring. Looking in the glass and I finally like the view. Washing off the dust, making everything brand new. Love the ones around me, let the old bitterness die. Found my soul direction under clear, open sky. Peace inside the chaos. Found the unity in the storm. Keeping all the embers of the spirit quiet and warm. Yeah, just breathe, it's over now. We made it through. Peace to the struggle, peace to the soul, just keep walking. The mirror is a ledger now, no ink for the vanity, just to counter the cracks in the walls of my sanity. I planted the garden, but I forgot about the shade. Now I'm sitting in the sun, watching the colors of my younger self fade. Every yes that was a no is a ghost in the hallway, Hinty in the floor. A heavy shadow on the floor of what I should have done small way. I don't look for the exit anymore. The house is just mine, the house is just mine. A map of the scars etched in the salt and the brine. Weight of world ain't gravity that's pulling me down. It's the crown to the kings I refuse to let drown. Legacy isn't gold, it's the lead in the shoes. It's the truth you can't pawn no matter how much you lose. Let it be heavy, let the iron turn to stone. A man finds the truth when he stands with the debt alone. Stands with the debt alone. I found the meaning in the dust of the things I let rot. Not in the harvest, but the seeds that I forgot. Not in the harvest, but the seeds that I forgot. Responsibility's the anchor, but it's also the sail. Responsibility's the anchor, but it's also the sail. A way to find the shore when the light of the sun starts to fail. A way to find the shore when the light of the sun starts to fail. I don't need a witness, I don't need a decree. I don't need a witness, I don't need a decree. Just the quiet of the room and the ghost of the man I used to be. Healing isn't soft, it's a hammer on the iron. Forging a piece that's silent like a tired old lion. Everything I kept, was it mine? Or was I just holding it for the wind to take? Just holding it for the wind to take. Let the fire turn the light in the deep. I'm awake in the storm while the children still sleep. I'm awake in the storm while the children still sleep. Weight of world ain't gravity that's pulling me down. It's the crown to the kings I refuse to let drown. Legacy isn't gold, it's the lead in the shoes. It's the truth you can't pawn no matter how much you lose. Let it be heavy, let the iron turn to stone. A man finds the truth when he stands with the debt alone. Stands with the truth alone. The debt is paid, not in coin, but in marrow. We move now in the quiet. On the dial, the orange hum is flickering. Gray stone under the kicks, feel the silence start to thicken. Solitary frame against the lamp, shadow thin and reaching. Empty bench in the park, where the spirit was once breaching. Steam from the coffee rising, like a ghost from the ceramic. Dust motes dancing in the sliver. Life is quiet, not frantic. Just a pair of worn out sneakers resting right beside the door, reminding me of footsteps that ain't clicking on the floor no more. It's a heavy kind of light when the world turns gray. Trying to find a piece of home that the wind didn't take away. Through the shadows and the steam, I can see your face, enduring in the memory, taking up the space. I trace the lines of the concrete. Every crack is a milestone. Spent a lot of nights feeling like I'm standing in a light zone. Too bright to hide the hurt, too dark to find the peace. Praying for the friction on my heavy soul to cease. But the orange glow is constant, and the air is still a friend, telling me the hollow parts are where the healing can begin. I pick the sneakers up, move them somewhere they can breathe, finding beauty in the things you didn't even have to leave. Yeah, just keep dancing in the sliver. I see you in the orange glow. Get gone now, in the space between the air. Foundation is concrete, etched in the granite. I don't just exist, I am sovereign on this planet. Check the trajectory, the math is precise. I only play for the win, never flip the coin twice. Legacy isn't a gift, it's a debt that you pay. I'm clearing the board while the rest of them play. From the Silicon Valley to the palms on the street, every move that I make is a part of the beat. Yeah. Long live the kings of the coast, we don't fade. We are the vision, the steel and the blade. Check the resume, look at the crown. We are the weight that is holding it down, yeah. They wanted the flash, I gave them the furnace. Calculated intent, I am strictly in earnest. Don't talk about numbers if you don't know the sum. I am the thunder before the rain comes. I'm carving a name in the side of the hill. While they're chasing the trends, I am moving by will, I am moving by will. Precision is key when you're building a state. I don't leave the results to the hands of the fate. Yeah. Long live the kings of the coast, we don't fade. We are the vision, the steel and the blade. Check the resume, look at the crown. We are the weight that is holding it down, yeah. Quiet now. Watch the shadows lengthen. You see the empire, you don't see the work. Control is the ultimate currency. Always the crown, always the coast. We out! Breeds a heavy heat beneath the leather tread. 12 stories, how the glass reflections dance in pain and red. I don't look back to check the distance covered in the haze. The city grid is just a map I redraw in 1,000 ways. See the steam rising off the vents, the silver in the air. I planted seeds in concrete gaps and found the harvest there. No gold medals for the hunger, just the weight of every key. A master architect of motion, built for all the world to see. I'm moving through the shadows like the engine in the dark. A silent, kinetic force that's leaving nothing but a spark. My blueprint's etching iron in the marrow of the bone. A kingdom carved from marble in a silence all my own. Still the crown is heavy, but the neck is feeling strong. Singing city anthems where the rhythm won't go wrong. We don't pause for applause, we just move with the pride. Concrete momentum with the power inside. Yeah. Yeah, the power inside. They wanna see the giant fall to watch the structural decay. But the mortar that I'm mixing isn't built to fade away. From the valley to the harbor, every pillar bears my sign. A psychological grind that redefined the finish line. I don't talk about the struggle, I just showcase the resolve. Another layer to the puzzle that they never gonna solve. It's the legacy of motion, it's the way the light reflects. High above the noise where no body ever quite connects. Look the pressure in the eyes and watch it crumble like a shell. I'm the architect of heaven and the architect of heaven in a modernized type of hell. No shortcuts in the ledger, no mistakes within the frame. Just a city catching fire every time they speak the name. Still the crown is heavy, but the neck is feeling strong. Singing city anthems where the rhythm won't go wrong. We don't pause for applause, we just move with the pride. Concrete momentum with the power inside. Yeah. Yeah, the power inside. Yeah. You see the vision, it's all in the frame. Unrelenting, we don't stop, we just shift gears. Concrete momentum, always ahead of schedule, still moving. Yeah. Yeah.